guys, Eden here, and welcome back to this month's Q&A. I've decided that I was a little bit too ambitious the last time when I talked to you guys about doing a Q&A. So this time I'm going to be a little bit more realistic and do a monthly Q&A. So starting this month and every month following, I will do a Q&A video once a month. Still doing 10 questions or as many questions as you guys can submit to me. So if you guys could send me questions, that'd be awesome. Either leave a comment down in the description below or inbox me at my YouTube inbox or go to my Facebook page, leave me messages there, or you can submit questions to me on Twitter. And that'll be fantastic, and we can get on with that. So yeah, we're just gonna go right into this. You guys know the drill at this point. If you don't, well, you should go back to the other videos. All right, so here we go. First question: do you consider yourself a Renaissance woman? You know, it's kind of strange. Renaissance genuinely means rebirth, right? So does that mean that I'm a woman of a rebirth age? I guess you could say that. It is the video game age again. It's been relaunched and it's getting bigger and more fantastic as the years go by. As far as new and innovative things that have been reborn, I guess so. Music's changing. I still like my old music, but I like a lot of the new stuff too. Fashion, well, I've been called a fashionista. It's a little bit weird. Just dress what's comfortable to me, and if it just so happens to co-align with fashion, then I guess it just so happens to co-align with fashion. I don't know. As far as psychology and philosophy, it's a little bit shaky on that side. We're not going to go too much into that, or my politics. We kind of want to keep politics and video games separate, or as far separate as we possibly can. It's like religion and politics. You don't want to mix those two together unless you're taking an actual religion and politics class, which I have, and if you haven't, you should totally do it. It's a great experience. It's a good experience to have. So yeah, do that. But for the most part, I guess you could say that I am a Renaissance woman in a way. It's just, I was born at a perfect age. I was born in the 80s, and I grew up without the finer bits of technology, but I wasn't having to struggle the way that my parents were, born in the 50s and 60s. And the kids who grew up in the 60s and 70s, you know? But I know what it's like without the wonders of technology, but at the same time, I grew up in a digital age where technology was becoming more and more prevalent. So we got to learn in, kids in the 90s, I guess you could say, because we were born in the 80s, but we grew up in the 90s. As a person who was able to do without, it was nice to be able to learn all the aspects of technology and to grow into that, what you would call the digital age of today. So I still appreciate going outside, but I won't lie, I love my video games. It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's how I'm able to meet all of you guys and interact with all of you, because you're awesome. Alright, next question. Why is Anita Sarkeesian full of shit? Well, that's because she claims to be a gamer when she really isn't. And that's the one thing that I can't stand, is people who are being tools or people who are posers. With a woman like Anita Sarkeesian, I'm not going to go into the whole debacle of what my thoughts are regarding feminism, because I'm a feminist to a degree, but to say that there is sexism in video games, people have to understand that video games were, and to a degree still is, a very male-dominated industry. And as such, women are being able to be introduced into that industry in a way that is innovative and creative, and we're having more and more female characters show up as main players in a video game and having a really good, strong story. And it's just, it pisses me off more that they want to use the classic damsel in distress trope to justify the sexism in video games. And it's like, no, there are so many examples of what it means to be misogynistic and be a sexist in other aspects of media than there are in video games. So to directly point out that sexism and misogyny exists solely in video games, or that it's prevalent in video games, is a little bit far-fetched. She named off some examples. anyone who knows about Anita Sarkeesian knows what her thoughts and her politics are regarding video games, and it's just a whole bunch of bullshit that I just can't buy into. I can't. She's one walking, talking, yapping, political, video gaming, attention seeking. This is all a stunt, in my opinion. She doesn't do enough research. She doesn't have enough facts to back up her claims. And she has all these white knighters jumping in and trying to rescue her because, oh my god, I got a death threat. It's the internet, damn it. I got death threats too regarding, other political idealisms. And come on. Unless someone legitimately acts through with it, which a lot of the times everyone knows that the internet is full of trolls. They don't actually follow through with what they're talking about. And those that do are just fucking insane and want to let out their aggressions and will probably be murdered, or I won't say murdered, but they'll be taken care of. It's just, I'm not even going to get into that. But that's my whole thought process regarding Anita Sarkeesian. She just makes female gamers cringe. How do you find people to collaborate with? Well, I'm on Twitter a lot lately since I've become very active in the video game YouTubing realm, and I connect with people through Twitter. Since I've recently joined in with TGN, I've been able to get connections with people through the TGN army, through the hashtag. As far as before I became partnered, I would just connect with people. Virgo for You, she found me on Twitter. Silent Gaming found me on Twitter. Some were mutual friends that I just happened to collaborate with and do games on. But it's just a matter of finding a community of people who are willing to connect you together. Be it on forums or on Twitter or any other type of social medias that you want to get connected with people and show them, hey, I have this really awesome idea, or hey, I love your work. Could we please collab together sometime? You just have to be able to do that with people and connect with them and just reach out and just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You're not going to be able to really be a gamer and connect with other gamers, especially in this vast community of YouTubers. You're not going to be able to connect with other people unless you just put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm new, I'm a fresh face, I know I'm a small YouTuber, I know that you've probably gotten the same offer from a million other people, but hey, I think you're awesome. Your material is great, and I would love to collaborate with you sometime in the future. I would love to get to know you as a person. I would love to play games with you. Even when we're not playing a series together to go on my channel or to go on your channel, let's just game. Just put yourself out there. Take a risk and expect rejections. Expect it. Either they're going to say yes because they're awesome and they think you're worth their time, or they're going to say no, they don't think you're worth their time. Or they just might be that busy and stacked up with stuff. I know I've had to turn down people to collaborate with just because I've just been so busy trying to do the rest of my collabs with other people on top of, my solo stuff, which I'm so behind on, but we're not even gonna go there. That's not important, but it is. All right, next question. What do you think of the oversaturation of the Let's Play market beyond the typical be different answer? Well, gonna edit that out. Well, here's the thing about that. It is a big market. It's a huge market, and it's growing every single day. If I were to guess on statistics, I would say maybe 5 out of 10 people are going to be gamers, and out of those 5, 2 or maybe 3 are going to start their own Let's Play channel. And that's just a guesstimation on my part. I'm probably wrong, but from what I've seen on the internet and what I've seen browsing through YouTube, that seems pretty accurate, and it's amazing. It's awesome that so many people are getting involved with this and just putting themselves in a position where they're going to get themselves exposed to all kinds of criticism and all kinds of speculations. But while it's oversaturated and it's getting big and it's continuously a competitive market because you're having to compete with the big dogs who are like in the millions of subscribers, you're also having to compete with the 100,000 subscribers, the 500,000 subscribers. Hell, I'm having to compete with the 5,000 level subscribers. And it's just, while you want to be different, you don't want to become a trend. Like, go with what's trendy, yes. Go with what you know is going to attract people to your channel. I'm sorry, it is what it is in this world, and people's attention spans are terrible, but they like to see people scared. They like to see people rage, and they like to see people cry. It's just how society works. I don't get it, but it's a thing, and that's what works for them. And that's why I started recording my horror Let's Play of Nier Oni. It's a pixel horror, and I'm slowly going to work people up from the pixel horror genre into the third-person genre and eventually into the first-person genre. And it's just, I love scary games. I love scary movies, but I scare very easily. And so, as such, I don't have a lot of content on my channel regarding scares because I just scare really easily. And when I do scare, I actually have a hashtag now, guys. It's funny. It's called the hashtag Eden Scream. And for those of you who've ever followed the stream that I do with R-Ace, or Infinite Gaming, is also known as Alex, we're doing Dead Space 3. It is called the Eden Scream because I woo scream. I mentioned it also in my Fear 3 Let's Play with the gaming cat. I woo scream, and it's a very unique scream where most girls are just like, oh my god! I woo. Various forms of woo, but they exist. So it's kind of funny how that works out. But I guess with being different, you just have to bring a new self. Bring a new you, but that's still true to who you are. Be engaging with your audience. I know a lot of Let's Players, they tend to forget that. Sometimes I tend to forget that, to interact with my audience. Be positive, but let your true colors come out whenever you're gaming, especially in a scary moment or an angry moment or a very sad moment. Just let those emotions come out, and that's how you get to stand above all the rest, is your genuine reactions, your sincerity, how you feel about the game, and just having fun with it all the time. I know with me, I try to give as many genuine reactions as I possibly can, as well as the way that I do my intros and outros in my Let's Plays. I haven't seen a lot of people do similar things where you have an introduction the way that I do it, as well as, an episode for the, an episode title and number, and then doing a closer and showing little sneak peeks, sped up clips of the next episode to come up. But just things like that, you just have to keep in mind. I'm starting to learn slowly about annotations. It's just, you just have to be aware of yourself, but stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself when you're playing a video game, because regardless of how sadistic and mean people can be, they still bank on genuine reactions. They still bank on that sincerity of who you are, coming and putting yourself out there. So, if you had the chance to write a story for an RPG or any video game, would you take that opportunity? Hell fucking yes. You better believe I would. Just because I'm a writer and I enjoy writing and I love reading, and I'm always coming up with really great funky ideas that are new and fresh, because it seems like a lot of stories are repeating themselves and a lot of scenarios are repeating themselves. And I just feel like if I were given the opportunity to write something funky and fresh or new and exciting, then I feel like I'd be able to do a good job. Or I at least would need a team of writers with me to be like, hey, Eden, you're going a little crazy with this. Maybe we should tone it down and do something different. I feel like I would need that kind of team to do that kind of amazing work for any kind of video game. But I would definitely take that opportunity if it were handed to me. That would be an amazing chance to just let my creativity shine. Because there's so many stories that I've come up with in different game, like, ideas and villains and heroes and just, types of fighting styles. If you're doing a JRPG, like leveling systems, it's just really awesome that I nerd out over things like that. but it's pretty awesome. So I definitely would take that opportunity. All right, next question. Would you ever publish a book, even if it's just an ebook? It still counts. Yes, I actually am in the process of doing just that. I have written 4 standalone novels, and I do plan on publishing one of them. I'm not going to give anything away because just when the time comes, I will reveal all of that in time. But I did write a book, and I'm really proud of it. And the other ones need cleaning up. This one's actually fully cleaned up and ready to go. I just need to do a book cover and do a little, summary, or like a little teaser, I guess, that goes onto the book for people to do, their own judgment on it based on what kind of mini story I give them to feed them into the energy. But yeah, I definitely would publish, and I am in the process of publishing. So yeah, when that comes out, I will definitely let all of you guys know, and I would love your support. But until then, just keep an eye out and know that yes, Eden is a writer on top of a gamer, on top of working this 8-to-5 job at the radio station or at the TV station. So it's a busy life for this gamer girl, but it's so worth it. So worth the few amount of hours of sleep I do get, even though I've always been a night owl. All right. Next question. Why do you do what you do? What keeps you going? What is the drive behind all this work to make it all worth it? Honestly, it's just being able to play great games and being able to showcase different aspects of my own personality, as well as meeting people. Like, God, you will not believe the amount of people I've been able to network with in the short amount of time that I've become so active on YouTube. And it's just such a great opportunity to meet people that will help you and will push your name out there and get you far. And just, it's so, like, it just, I don't know, it's just so driving. It's such a driving force to just be involved with something that you love to do and putting in all this effort and getting all this work done. And it's just absolutely worth it at the end of the day. Even though I come home from work exhausted, I still get on the computer and I do my art commissions, and I still get on the computer and do my recordings and collaborate and play with other people and play with my friends and meet new people and make new friends. It's all worth it because you make these lasting connections with people who eventually down the line, they are going to bring your name up and be like, hey, I remember I had a lot of fun with Eden. I totally want her to meet this person. I think that they do an awesome collaboration together. Or, hey, I think this game would be right up there with Eden's preferences. She should totally play this game on her channel. I want to see how she handles this kind of, atmosphere whenever it's time for her to play the game. Just things like that. Like, you gain fans and a fandom and people who connect with you and really like what you do, and then that's what makes it worth it. It makes it worth it for me, the gamer, but it makes it worth it for you, my viewers and my subbers and my followers, and the people who subscribe to my work on Facebook and on my DeviantArt. Like, it's all worth it because of you guys. Like, you push me forward. You push me forward and keep telling me, hey, you have something worthwhile. Keep going out there and showcasing that. And that's what I've been doing, is just showcasing my stuff and letting you know that, hey, I have something to give that's genuine in mine, that I want to give back to you just for being a fan. All right, next question. What has been your favorite game, or if a game has multiple different storylines to go through, a la Resident Evil or Left 4 Dead, has been your favorite so far to do? Well, right now, I think the most fun that I've had as far as a game on my channel, the most fun I've had playing, probably, I would have to say, would be, well, Fear 3. Like, I love the storyline in the Fear series. It's a really strong story. It's really fucked up, but it's so good. And the fact that I'm playing with my really good friend, the Gaming Cat, makes it all the more entertaining, just because You know, there are truly scary moments in that game that freak us both out. But for the most part, it's just two crazy gamer girls running around murdering people. And not to say that I'm a murderer or that I find, enjoyment in killing people, but it's just really funny that we basically took the serious element out of this game, or, well, not all of the serious element, but a chunk of it out, and made it into a comedic experience for you guys to enjoy. Kat and I use that time to have our girl talks when we play Fear 3, and so we just kind of get our shit out, out on the table, and talk about our work week and what all we went through and any kind of anxiety or stress that we deal with. We talk about that before we start playing the game, and then when we play it, we go into it with a lighter heart, lighter weight on our shoulders, and it makes the experience enjoyable, and we get to fully focus into the game versus the nagging bits of our stress just kind of gnawing at the back of our brain. And so it's just been a lot of fun, a lot of good mechanics, and just it's a great story. We don't know what's finna happen. I mean, she's played it. I don't know what's finna happen. But we're at that point now where I think we're getting close to the end of the game, and that's pretty exciting. It's gonna be the next, playthrough that I finished out on my channel. A big game playthrough, what I mean. And so it's exciting. I get excited when I can finish new projects that I've started with people or even with myself. So it's a good feeling. All right, next question. How do you manage to grow your channel? I grew my channel just by, like I said before, connecting with people. I connected with people, I put myself out there, I made sure that I update my channel every single day. I put content out there every single day for people to enjoy, whether they like it or don't like it, but I always put a video every single day. I normally take Sundays off in regards to recording and editing, so I normally edit in chunks. I'll do like 2 or 3 videos at a time and upload them onto YouTube and let them run and make sure they're, they look good and all that, and then I go and update them by the day if I'm busy, and otherwise I'll just come home and do repeat, so that way I have a backlog of footage continuously going through the channel, cycling through. But I just, I put my videos out there, I let my friends watch them, they let their friends watch them. I post my videos on Twitter, like I have my videos automatically post onto Twitter. You can have them post onto your Facebook, on your Instagram. Just make use of social media, guys. Like, I know some people out there are just like, oh, the media is so stupid, it fucking sucks, like they're just trying to brainwash us. Yeah, okay, fine, you're entitled to your opinion, but let's face the facts. To help grow your channel, to help market yourself, you have to put yourself out there. You have to advertise. You have to be like, hey, this is me, this is who I am, enjoy what I have to offer. It's awesome. Please click on my videos. Like, you almost have to beg for views, but at the same time, if you have good content, you won't have to beg. Other people will see your work and do the begging for you. They will go out and say, please watch this person's channel, they're amazing, like, you need to watch them. And that's just how it works. In order to grow your channel, you have to make connections with people. You have to be out there and put yourself out there and not be afraid to advertise, and just make use of social media. Guys, do it. Stream. Make use of Facebook. Make use of Twitter, Instagram, all of that shit. Just go out there and do it. I'm not a big fan of social media myself, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that Twitter hasn't done a great job of boosting up my, subscriber rate and my viewer rate. Just with Twitter alone. We're not even talking Facebook and Tumblr and, Instagram and all this other stuff. Like, people are constantly cycling through those networks, and when they do, eventually they will stumble across your stuff, and they will want to look at your stuff and be like, oh, this is awesome, let me check it out. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be willing to take that risk. All right, and the last question is, actually 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Which video game soundtrack is your favorite? Oh my gosh, that is a freaking tie. It is a tie between two different artists and two different soundtracks. One is the Chrono Cross soundtrack by Yasunori Mitsuda. Great soundtrack, great music, great ending song, just all around just really wonderful. Yasunori Mitsuda is also the one who did the music for the Xenosaga trilogy, Xenogears, Chrono Trigger. There's probably a few more that I'm not thinking of at the top of my head right now, but those are the main ones that immediately pop into my head. And of course, the other one that it's tied with is Final Fantasy X, because all of the music in that game was just spot on, beautiful. The compositions were great, the melody, the flow, the overall feeling that was left with me after listening to that soundtrack is just so clear and concise and just undeniable. And I love it. And that soundtrack was done by Nobuo Uematsu. And Nobuo Uematsu was well known for doing a good chunk of the Final Fantasy music. I believe the last Final Fantasy that he composed was for 10, and that was right before Squaresoft merged with Square Enix. So it's a pretty memorable soundtrack either way. Alright, and the last question, Z-Target. Alright, with Z-Target, it's a little bit complicated. For those of you who were around for the last Q&A regarding the Cuckoo and that whole Legend of Zelda spiel. Legend of Zelda was the first Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game that I ever played, and it was the first Zelda game I ever played, but it was not the first game on the N64 that I played. I played Mario RPG, and I played Mario Kart on the N64, and Banjo-Kazooie. But I was playing, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the first time ever. So, again, N64 controllers drove me crazy. I didn't understand where the buttons were. At this point, I was a huge PlayStation nut. I still kind of am a PlayStation advertiser. Yay, PS2, PS3, PS4. I do that. But with the N64, there's this little button on the trigger on the handle of the thing, and it's called Z-Target. And the Z-Target in Legend of Zelda, that's how you target onto the enemy that you want to shoot or hit or whatever, and that will Z-Target onto them, and you have to press Z. Well, I'm sitting here going, what do they mean by Z-Target? To my friend Ray, and she's just like, the purple trigger underneath the controller. And so I look down, and I'm like, oh, because this is the thing. Because this makes sense. No, it doesn't. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. But yeah, so that's the story about Z-Targeting. And I do believe that's it for this month's Q&A, guys. I'm so sorry if I sound a little kind of, out of it, especially here toward the end. It's currently 12:50 in the morning. I worked from 8:30 this morning until 5 o'clock, so I'm a little bit exhausted, if you can't tell. But yeah, so again, this is going to be a monthly thing. I'm not going to be doing it weekly like I was ambitiously trying to do. I don't know why I thought I was going to make that goal count, but I did. But this is a monthly thing. I am super excited. So again, just send me your questions. I do not feel shy about asking me anything. As far as personal questions or gaming questions, whatever, I will answer them to the best of my ability, and I will be completely honest and give you the sort of response that you may or may not like to hear. I don't know, but that would be awesome. So just send me questions, guys. This is for you more than it is for me. I want you as my viewers to get to know me, and it'd be awesome if you could do that. So yeah, just send me questions. You can send them to me through my Twitter. You can send them to me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. You can send them to me on here, on my YouTube channel, on my DeviantArt. You can send me messages there. Just whatever. Just whatever's comfortable for you and convenient, do so. And send me questions, and those will be going into the Q&A for next month. So look forward to it. And this is awesome. So again, until the next Q&A, bye.